Welcome back, and as you join me, I'm just leaving Masad, that very grim place of a massacre. And here you can see the world map. It's pretty much like the same in most of the RPGs. You walk around on this map, and yep, you can come across random encounters. Something which I'm sure all RPG lovers, all RPG gamers love. When you just want to walk from one place to the other, but you're interrupted. Now, something I should point out is that the loading times in this game are fairly long. And you're, in a sense, you're kind of lucky, because I'm going to edit these out. Now, here you can see the sort of random encounter mechanic, where it loads up like a little mini level. And at this point, since I'm just Joseph all by my lonesome, I immediately take the coward's way out and run. But at this point, you really don't want to get into any fights while you're by yourself. Because something you'll get a big demonstration of later in this game is that it comes down to numbers a lot of the time. Like, a group of weak enemies will defeat one strong enemy fairly easily. You know, and that goes for both sides. But anyway, we walk around, we finally find Lanel, the big city, the big hub of the world. And oh my, look at those side quests all emerge. Yep. Now, first of all, let's look at this beautiful view. Oh wait, we've got to wait as it pops in. Yeah, this game is quite bad popping. You can see the sort. You can see in the distance there. It's just barely emerging. Again, I think it's a sign that this game was slightly rushed. But anyway, we start off with Crazy Ivan, a fairly simple test. Although I didn't really do this the first time I played this game because it's kind of random what you have to do. But anyway, it's very important because you need to do this quest because you get a very cool item, which will really help you out, especially in the early part of the game. But yeah, anyway, this city, it's kind of funny because I like it, but at the same point it does have a flaw with it. And I like it because it's big, but its biggest flaw is that it's probably too big than it needs to be. There are like so many sections to it. I think there's like 8 altogether, and they're fairly big and there's lots of people. But anyway, the simple action of examining this fish has completed the Fiery Falcon quest. You can see here it's fairly decent blade, fairly. It's got low power, but you can see on the effect info that it does have a chance of casting fireball when you attack enemies, which is ridiculously useful. And that's something we'll get more into later, the idea of elements in this game. It's like fire, ice, electric, dark, holy, heal, and those are the magic ones. But there's also elements when it comes to swords, in a sense. There's sharp, blunt, and pierce. And a word of advice in this game, you want to level up sword weapons, which is like your sharp weapons, but you also want to level up blunt weapons. And I can't emphasise that enough because there are lots of enemies in this game which are weak to blunt weapons. Probably more than there should be. It's kind of unbalanced in that sense. But anyway, we'll meet an old friend here, Jakar, who, for some strange reason, holds it against us that we got their village killed. Mate, it's a demon up there. But don't worry, I'm sure this guy will come to love us in the end. Well, you know, we'll develop a little bromance there. And now he also explains about Yargo, who I realise I didn't really explain the story that well in the first part. But Yargo is the old man who mentored Joseph, who tried to teach him, help him control his summoning powers. But obviously after when Joseph summoned the demon and he accidentally killed the village, yeah, they kind of went their separate ways. But now Joseph wants to find Yargo, which is probably for the best. We should probably sort out this whole mess. Anyway, after walking in the marketplace for a bit, you should come across this guy, Aeris. And by giving him Isaac's sword, you complete that side quest.
Powerful.
Good for you, Joseph. Now, about the voice acting in this game, a lot of the time it's just text, which makes sense because there's so many people, but there's also a bit of voice acting, and it's fairly decent for what it does. And we've also been given the bastard sword, pardon my French, but yeah, I'd rather keep the fiery falcon, if it's all the same to you. Ooh. Actually, on second thoughts, it is more powerful, but that fireball effect on the fiery falcon, yeah, it's... you want to keep that. That makes it a bit better. Particularly because we're about to encounter some enemies which are weak to fire. So I level up heal here. Now, as for these two stats here, dodge and push, according to the FAQs I found, you don't really want to bother leveling these up. They're not too important. And I played through this game not really leveling those stats up, and you know what? It worked out fine. So I guess they're not really important. You can level up other skills. And to bring up the leveling up skills things, you won't get enough stats to level up all your skills. So you do have to be very particular about which ones you pick. Anyway, this side quest here, the Merchant of Aurania, I do like it just because it references a Shakespeare play, and of course I'm all sophisticated and the like. But yeah, again, just to remind you of the story, the Auranians attacking, so the Auranian minorities that live in this city are being oppressed. They're being held to ransom. Anyway, they're being attacked. Kind of similar to minorities. Whenever something bad happens, they always pick on the minorities, like the Jews in Europe or the Gypsies. Ooh, my word! This commentary has this commentary is going to a very dark area. I'm talking about genocide and the like. But anyway, to help out the merchant here, you talk to the guard. He tells him that he's being held in this prison for his own protection. So then you have to go visit a forger to get a release order. And this is what I meant by the side quests being interesting, because they sort of fill in, they sort of build the world. Look, this little side quest gives us gives us an impression of how the city works, and how, for example, the Auranians are being treated. And that's important to note, particularly because with the Auranians, the first image we see of these people, they're like samurais butchering a village. So it's nice to know that they give us a sort of a more three-dimensional view. You know, they're not all soldiers. You know, they're not all the enemies. And actually, as we go to their homeland, we actually discover they're not actually bad people at all, really. It's just they have a terrible ruler that's taken over the land. But don't worry about him. We'll get to him in the end. So you just walk back here. Now I'm cutting out. Like I said, this is a fairly big city, and I'm cutting out quite a lot of travelling, and that's really just to make sure most of these parts isn't just me walking across the city. Oh, and this guy, just offer him a bribe, and it will all work out fine. But like I said, I'm cutting out a lot of travelling, and essentially, if you're watching this, I'm just going to presume you've already played the game, and you're already semi-familiar with it. But anyway, again, I'll level up heal a bit more. I definitely want to get that to 10, to get the revive spell. Anyway, you talk to Aravind to finish off this quest. And to talk about this city again, I get the impression they were trying to do something like Elder Scrolls, for that generation, like a huge immersive city. And to a certain extent, I think they succeeded. But on the other hand, I look at this city and I think it doesn't need to be this big. And there are numerous sections, and there are also loading screens between each section, and fairly long loading screens, I should say. yeah, and it makes a pain when you want to go from one point of the city to the other. But luckily, if you're watching this, you're feeling the full benefit of editing. Now this guy here, Pampuro, seems to have lost a ring down the sewers. And that's something I'm doing now. Because obviously, surprise surprise, we're about to enter the sewers, which is like our first proper dungeon. But before we go in, we need to set up quite a few side quests. Because obviously, to complete these side quests, we need to find items in the said sewers. And sometimes they don't show up unless you've talked to the people who give you the quest. And for this one, the guy has lost a ring, and you talk to the chambermaid and his wife, and they sort of give you hints, which eventually lead you to a sewer. Yeah. When I first played this game, I thought this side quest might be like some mystery, like some Agatha Christie type of mystery, where you talk to each person and try and work out who stole it, but no, you just find it in the sewer. Okay, next up, Mercer the Tailor has unfortunately been given quite a few fake coins, so we need to find out this guy in the sewers as well. And you can see there's like, altogether there's like 8 of the quests you can see on screen here. 6 of them take place in the sewers. But again, we talked to Pedrog here, a guy with an eye patch. Looks rather cool. I was thinking something this game does do is reuse a lot of models. Obviously it's for the PS2, but it does use them fairly frequently. Like this model with an eye patch. Yeah, this model is used quite a lot. There's quite a lot of guys walking around with eye patches. I guess it's fairly common to lose an eye in this city. Well, going by another side quest we'll see later, losing eyes is apparently something that happens fairly regularly. Or at least it's more common than you would think it would be. And up this alley here is Murden. Now this side quest doesn't really have an end. There are enemies called Batchoids, and when you kill a Batchoid you get a Batchoid tail. And then you can sell the Batchoid tail to this guy here, which is sort of like a little money grinding side quest. In my opinion, when it comes to this game, collecting weapons and items and selling those items is actually the best way to make money. But nevertheless, I highlight it here. Now we talk to this fairly butch guy, and unfortunately he's lost a magic doll which heals his daughter of illnesses. Which, when you in the sequel to this game, they sort of go into the structure of the universe, and it does make you where magic comes from, because it kind of looks a bit odd. Anyway, enough about theology. Here we meet this Gimardi girl, Verissa, and the Gimardi, they sort of fill the roles of gypsies in this universe. They sort of travel from place to place, and we do get a bit more on the backstory of the people. Yep, the human beings in this world are called the Sudani, and as their legends would go, they used to fly like angels with wings. But when their god Uraf was slain, they fell to earth as normal human beings. And the Gimardi still follow the old philosophy of travelling from place to place. They kind of remind me of the Airbenders in a sense. But we'll get more into the sort of gods and mythology of this universe as we play through the game. Now this is a very good side quest because you get a really good item for it. And if you haven't been reading the text, she wants you to collect 3 shards of glass.